What's up, guys? So in this video I really wanted to discuss something that's really important. A lot of us don't understand it, but be protective of your energy. This is going to be huge because there are so many people that are going to try to throw you off, okay? They're so negative that they're going to try to suck your energy right out of you. And when you're protective of your energy, you will not allow this, and you will guard your energy at all costs. So like in my previous video, I discussed how there's these energy vampires, right? And these energy vampires are so negative that they will try and mess with you just to feel better about themselves, right? Or they're like, misery loves company, and there's all these miserable people and they love to share that misery. But when you're able to be protective of your energy and not let people infiltrate you or your aura, you know what I mean? You're really gonna be a lot more successful, because this world we live in, these energy vampires are everywhere. And they come in the form of trolls, just rude people in general, ignorant people. They are literally everywhere you look. So you gotta be protective of your energy and not be moved off your emotional center, because these people thrive off that. They wanna say something rude to get a response from you. But when you are non-responsive and you just laugh those types of things off and you don't let them penetrate your energy and your aura, you are gonna start growing at an existential rate, because you're not letting other people influence you or your behavior or energy. You're just focusing on yourself. And this concept of focusing on yourself is huge, because when you're really able to dial it down and focus on what's important to you, that's when you're really gonna start seeing progress in life. And not letting these energy vampires infiltrate you and your energy is gonna be key to your success, because these energy vampires, this is what I call them, I created this term for people who are super negative or just completely miserable, and they wanna steal your energy from you. They wanna suck the energy right out of you, like Dracula, but with energy. They want to suck your energy. I'm going to suck your blood. That was my Dracula voice. But they want to suck the energy right out of you, the positive energy right out of you. And then when you have no more positive energy left, you're just completely drained. So guarding from them and being protective of your energy is going to be essential, because they are everywhere. And now that I'm mentioning them to you, you're going to be able to recognize them and distinguish them, because they're everywhere. Protect yourself. Like, there's people around who love just being negative, and misery loves company, and they love just to spread that misery. But when you're able to be protective of your energy, you're not going to let them infiltrate you, which is going to really come back to them. Because when people are miserable and there are trolls, that says more about them than anybody else, okay? Because they're so miserable that they have to share their negativity, you know what I mean? But when you're able to control who you let infiltrate your mind and infiltrate your energy, that's really when the progress will start, because you cannot just let any negative person fuck up your day or make you feel bad. You have to be relying on yourself and self-validating in order to live your best life and your happiest life. And if you're always listening to what other people say, you're never gonna have the ability to think for yourself and feel for yourself, because you're always listening to what they said about you or what they said about you. It's super critical that we are protective of our energy every day, every second of the day, because these energy vampires are everywhere and they want to suck the energy right out of you. But you have to be able to set boundaries and not let people get that close to you unless they are positive and nurturing and nourishing, you know what I mean? So right now it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm waiting to go into the gym, but I just wanted to get this video out here because it's so important that we're guarding our energy. Because if, like, for example, if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is scroll social media, super negative, then you text your significant other, you text your girlfriend, and you guys are fighting, you are not gonna have a productive day at all. And that's the truth, because you're just immediately throwing your energy away first thing in the morning. And that's why I'm really against checking your phone in the morning, even though I still do it sometimes, but I'm trying not to. Because if you pick up your phone as soon as you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is check your email, look at the text from yesterday, then you're just immediately jumping back into everything from yesterday. You don't even get a chance to wake up or start the day off fresh because you're looking back at things from yesterday. And that's really not important. What's important is your health, your mental health, happiness. And that it's gonna be a lot harder to achieve that if you're constantly looking, like going to social media for happiness. You're getting validation from outside sources. And this is why one of my best videos is stop chasing external validation and focus on consistency, because this world we live in, everyone tries to get their validation from outside sources, when in fact, as a man and as a woman, as a strong woman, you want to self-validate, okay? From your business, from your work ethic, you want to self-validate, and you don't want to be getting your validation from him, her, or on social media, because that's a false, fake sense of validation. It's not a real, like the real validation is the self-validation. That's real, and that's from within, and that takes work to build up and keep strong. Self-validation is key to happiness in life and your growth, because you're not looking to other people for your validation, and you're only taking it from inside, and you're only getting it from within. And a lot of people don't understand that this is the best type of validation, when it's from within, because you're competent and confident in yourself and your abilities. I want you guys to seriously start looking out for these energy vampires, okay? They come in the form of trolls, super negative people who love projecting their misery on the world. Do not let them bring you down. Do not let them move you off your emotional center at all. I'm talking to everyone watching this video. Make sure you're protective of your energy and guarding who you let into your aura, because they love trying to project their negativity onto you. You gotta say, get that shit the hell away from me. I don't need that. I'm focused on myself, having a great day, living a great life, and I'm gonna stay as positive as possible at all times. And this is why I'm always talking about offensive positivity, because then if someone comes in negative at you, you're just so positive that they don't even really knock you down at all. You're just like, you just laugh it off, like, okay, because you're super, super positive 24/7. Even when someone comes at you with the defense, you're already on offensive positivity. You're already so positive and on the offense with your positivity that no one is gonna knock you down at all. And people hate this, when you can just brush that shit off your shoulder and laugh at the silly things they did or the negativity. Don't let people infiltrate your energy and your positivity, because they will do it, and you gotta be protective and guard from that at all times. Guarding our energy is gonna be essential to our growth, because we cannot grow if we're constantly in a set mindset. You know what I mean? You're set in your ways. You're set in checking your Facebook as soon as you wake up, in your Instagram, and looking at your text and texting your significant other in the morning, when that's not what should be going on in the morning. The first thing you should be doing is focusing on yourself, getting your mind ready for the day, and really preparing yourself to be as positive as possible throughout the day. And that all starts with a good morning. That all starts with waking up right, which is huge. A lot of people don't realize how important it is to wake up on the right side of the bed and wake up the right way. Don't check your emails as soon as you wake up in the morning. Don't check your social media. Just wake up and think for a little bit. Get your coffee and just sit there for 10, 20 minutes and think and get your thoughts together before you start checking your phone and checking your notifications on social media. Because if you do that, as soon as you wake up, you're just gonna be putting yourself back in the same spot as yesterday. And you're just back in that same emotional state as yesterday, even though it's a new day, a fresh day, and you should be treating it as if it's a new, fresh day. Do not let other people move you off your emotional center, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be able to look out for negative people and try and stay away from them, because they are everywhere. The world we live in is so negative. And for us to be able to guard from that is gonna take a lot of willpower and effort. But once you start getting into the habit of doing it, you're gonna be seeing so much progress in your life, and your days are gonna be a lot happier, because you're not relying on external validation for your happiness. You're relying on your self-validation for happiness, and this is gonna be essential to your growth. All right, guys, I gotta go get my workout in. Let's get after it today, okay? All right, love you guys. What's up, guys? So I'm back. I just finished some work for my business that I've been working on, and this is going to be part of the other video I filmed before the gym. Just really wanted to get out there and get us focused on ourselves, okay? We have to be focused on ourselves, and this is going to really be protecting us from those energy vampires that I was talking about earlier in the video. So these energy vampires, they are literally everywhere, guys, and when you're focused on yourself, you're not going to be giving in or feeding into other people's BS or negativity. And that is what's so essential to your growth and happiness. When you're able to put yourself first and make yourself a priority rather than the default of making significant other a priority, or making girls, or for you women, making guys a priority. We have to be focused on ourselves at all times. And once we really grasp this concept, I really want us to incorporate it into our lives. So we're going to be a lot happier when we are focused on growth and taking care of our own needs and prioritizing ourselves over other people, other men, other girls. You have to put yourself first at all times. Every time you neglect that because of a woman or a man, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be behind every time because you're not putting yourself first like you should be. This could be anything from like not exercising because you're so caught up in games with a female or games with a guy, right? These type of things where you're putting the other person ahead of your needs. When we get in trouble every single time, it's in the past when I've gotten in trouble every single time, because then I stopped putting myself first, which is the most important thing, is putting yourself first at all times. Now, when you're a couple, you guys put each other first, okay? And yes, you could put yourself first, but you gotta make sure you're taking care of the unit, you know what I mean, as a couple. So putting yourself first is gonna be so instrumental to your success and your growth in your daily life, because you're able to take care of things that other people usually neglect, right? Like eating poorly. It's so easy to eat poorly, but when you take initiative and you start caring about what you put in your body, because what you put in your body ends up fueling you. So if you're putting McDonald's and all this garbage into your body, all this sugar into your body, you're gonna be so much more sluggish, not content, because you're not putting the right fuel in your body. But when you're really focused on yourself and putting yourself first, you understand that the fuel you put in your body is so important because it takes care of your energy throughout the day. So instead of eating terrible, you want to eat things that are full of nutrients, such as fruits, apples. You know, smoothies are really hot nowadays. I'm like a huge smoothie guy, but you want to make sure you're washing your fruit off, okay? Because there's this stuff called glyphosate, I believe it's called, and in the soil, and a lot of farmers are getting it on the fruits and stuff, and they don't know it until, like, what happened when I found this out is they did a test of the waterways of like the sewers and stuff, and they found this chemical, glyphosate, in 80% of the people's urine, basically. And what that means is a lot of the vegetables and stuff we're eating has this pesticide on it, is grown, and it has the pesticide on it, and it stays on there even after we eat it. Okay, so now it's in our system, now it's in the waterways, and they're testing it, and they're finding that more than 80% of the people have this in their system. So just another messed up thing about the world we live in is we gotta be careful of what we eat, and we can't be relying on, like, we can't just take people's word that fruits have been washed off properly, you know what I mean? You have to take initiative and wash them off so you're not getting this stuff in your body. And a lot of people don't know this because this was just like released a couple days ago and the government did a sample. In the United States, the government did a sample of the waterways in the sewers, and they found that over 80% of the people's urine had this chemical glyphosate in it, which it's for pesticides on fruits. It's helping the fruit keep away bugs, but it's not necessarily the healthiest, because there's a lot of problems with it, and now it's in a lot of our bodies. So I just wanted to make you guys aware, so you're washing off your fruits and vegetables and understanding that the status quo isn't always right. Like, the way things are doesn't mean it's 100% foolproof.
such as what I just mentioned, you know? You've got to take initiative like washing those things off, or, you know, it's really scary that because of the convenience, we're like, okay, we're going to go to the store, we're going to get these things, but then we find out the fruits and vegetables have these chemicals on them, and they're disrupting our hormone balance, disrupting our bodies, and there's all these types of things happening that are messing with our systems that we have no control over at all. Like, I didn't even know that until a couple days ago, and I've been eating fruits and vegetables for years, progressively a lot more. So let's just make sure we're focused on that. And another thing, there's these things called PFAS that are in the air, and they're plastic particles, because there's so much plastic in the environment right now. It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere nowadays. It's in the environment, it's in the soil, it's in our bodies, because we eat the stuff that's grown from the soil. It is literally everywhere. They're called PFAS, and they're plastic particles floating around the whole earth, the whole environment, getting in our body. All these things have an influence on our energy, on our productivity, and on our bodies and mind, because when I'm pretty sure eating plastic isn't healthy, you know what I mean? But these plastic particles are everywhere, we can't help it, and they're getting in our body and really disrupting, you know, they're really not making us more positive, you know what I mean? Like, putting this stuff in our body, not unknowingly, is really affecting us in a way we had no idea could be possible. I can only imagine the damage that's going to be done in 40, 50 years from these PFAS, they're called, because they're freaking everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, they're everywhere. And I don't even think there's much we can do about it except stop using so much plastic, because plastic is a menace upon society. Like, there's nowhere for it to go. It's not biodegradable or anything like that. So it's so scary that these types of things we have to worry about as people. And I'm just sharing it for you guys because a lot of people have no idea what I'm talking about, because it's new stuff and the government's not even on it like they should be. But I'm sharing it with you guys because I love you. I treat you guys like family. I love my subscribers. You guys are honestly like family to me, and I want you guys to be as safe as possible. And knowing about the dangers in this world is really going to help you guys avoid them, right? And this is what I mean by putting yourself first. So you're able to take care of your body, okay? I mentioned those crazy things that could be affecting you without you knowing, those chemicals and stuff. Okay, so you're taking care of yourself, you're putting yourself first, and watching out for stuff like that. Stuff like that that drains your energy. And there's also people like that that drain your energy, right? I really want us to start putting ourselves first. These types of videos, every time I make a video like this about putting yourself first, it's always my top rated video. So when you're going throughout your day and you're putting yourself first and prioritizing yourself, that's going to attract that special someone into your life, guys. Because they're going to be attracted to someone that puts himself first. Like, a lot of people do the opposite and put the girl first or the guy first when they need to be putting themselves first and their growth. And also, this concept of being proactive is really going to help you guys. Be proactive, not reactive. This is going to help you level up so much, okay? Because when you're proactive, you're taking initiative and you're going about things in a way that's really assertive. And when you're reactive, you're just laying around, letting things happen to you, letting things happen to you, letting things happen to you, instead of making things happen, making things happen, making things happen. This is why being so proactive is going to be so essential to you guys leveling up in life and getting to where you want to be. You know, your brain, I don't know if I said this in a previous video or not, but your brain wants you to stay exactly where you're at, okay? It's so important that your mind and body are working as one. And when your brain is constantly telling you to stay where you're at because you're comfortable, that's what your brain does. It wants you to stay exactly where you're at because it's comfortable. But when you're not allowing that and you're like, okay, I'm not going to allow my brain to dictate what I'm doing. When my soul says jump, I jump. Your brain wants you to stay exactly where you are because it's comfortable. But outside your comfort zone is where growth happens. So I really think you guys should understand this, because the things that you need to take to grow, the steps you need to take to grow, your brain is going to give you resistance and tell you like, no, don't work out today. Stay exactly where you are. Don't do anything, like procrastinate. That's what your brain, your default setting wants you to do, but you cannot allow that. You can't allow that, guys, for a second. You have to say, when I say jump, when my soul says jump, you freaking jump no matter what. You don't listen to your brain, because your brain does not want you to grow. Like your soul, you want to grow, but your brain wants you to stay exactly where you are, nice and comfortable. And that's why you always gotta go against stuff like that. Like, you always gotta resist that temptation to do nothing and procrastinate, because that's your brain's default setting. Wants you to never grow, wants you to stay exactly where you are, and you gotta say, get the hell out of my way, brain. I'm not fucking listening to you today. You know what I mean, guys? You cannot be listening to your brain. So once you understand that, you can start doing, like, I started forcing myself. When I started going to the gym every single day, like 4 years ago, I started forcing myself. When my brain would be like, no, not today, I would be like, you listen to me, brain. That's not happening. Like, I'm taking control. You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. And I started getting into this routine of every time my brain wanted me to do and stay exactly where I am, I would do the opposite. And that would be my motivation, doing the opposite of what my brain was telling me to do, which was stay exactly where I am, or not go to the gym, or eat some garbage food, you know what I mean? And I would just be like, no. And I would completely override my brain to get the results I want. And now I'm just like so mentally strong to the point my brain doesn't have any control over me whatsoever. Like, my soul dictates what I do and don't do, not my brain. And this is what I really want you guys to understand. Once you can take control of your own life and start making things happen without relying on your low energy or letting your brain tell you, like, no, not today. Okay, you gotta, that's the day when you actually have to do it. When your brain's like, no, not today, I'm not feeling good. Just give up and stay home today. That's the day where you gotta be like, no, this is the most important time to go. Because when you're constantly pushing back against that brain and you're like overriding that brain process, that's the time when your brain gets stronger and grows. Because instead of just giving up and giving in to your weakness, you completely just push forward, even though it sucks, even though it's miserable, you push forward anyway. And then you come home after you do what you needed to do and you feel so much better. Tell me, guys, doesn't that happen when you're like dreading something or you're anxious about something for days and then you finally go out and do it? For you people, I used to have anxiety, so I can talk about this. So for you people who have anxiety and you like don't want to go anywhere, you know what I mean? You don't want to be around anyone. You don't want to go anywhere and socialize. That's because your brain's so used to you giving in to its needs and to like not wanting to grow. But when you're able to take initiative and be like, no, brain, that's not happening, you're really gonna start making strides in life, guys. See, so once you start understanding that going outside your comfort zone, that's where growth's going to happen. Okay, so growth is uncomfortable. Growth isn't gonna be playing on your Xbox for 6 hours, unless you're like all-star EA Sports gamer, right? Growth is when you push yourself outside your comfort zone, which is gonna cause anxiety. It's not going to be comfortable, just like running 8 miles nonstop, right? Or running a mile or two nonstop. It's not comfortable. And I would know because it was so hard for me to get running initially 5 or 6 years ago when I started doing it every day. Like, it was so hard for me to keep going. Like, I'd try to run for a couple miles and I would stop, 0.8 in or 0.5 in and just pick up later. But then I started pushing myself and pushing my brain like, no, I'm running 5 miles without stopping, or I'm running a mile without stopping, and then I could take a breather after that mile. And once I started pushing my brain and pushing my limits, even though it was uncomfortable and made me anxious, like not stopping for breath, I would just keep running. This is one thing I always struggled with as a kid because I used to be fat growing up. So I always struggled with running and stopping in the middle. Like, I wouldn't be able to run a mile without stopping because I'd have to take breaths in between and stop. But I trained myself to fight my brain and fight what was comfortable for the long-term reward, which would be finishing without stopping. And once I pushed myself past these barriers that I set up in front of myself, I saw so much more progress and results because I didn't just stop after 1 mile. I didn't just stop after 5 miles. I went 10 miles without stopping, okay? And this is how far I grew. I went from not being able to run a mile without stopping to running 10 miles without stopping easy. So, just proves that when you stick to something and you grind it out and you force change, you don't listen to your brain, okay? You force change to happen and growth to happen. This is when the true results come, okay, guys? I mean, I'm living proof of it. I had so hard of a time running, and I couldn't even finish a mile without stopping until I started pushing the envelope, pushing myself, and like getting so mad at myself. Like, Matt, no, you're running 10 miles without stopping. I don't care if you throw up in the middle of it. And there were all these types of resistance, like not feeling like it today, or I'm not in the mood, or someone called me and I had to do something that day, but I still got my run in no matter what. I was still getting my run in, even through all these types of resistance. Another type of resistance, like my thighs hurting in the middle of the run, my thighs rubbing together, so I could so by the time I finished my run, it was like I got severe rug burn. But I pushed through the pain. That was the most important part, that I didn't just stop because I had a little pain. I pushed through the pain. Or when, I got severe, severe shin splints from running so much. And I'm on like mile 9 of a 15-mile run, a 15-mile long run. And I'm like, I could either stop and just chill out, massage my leg a little bit, and then get back into it, or I could push through the pain, which was so hard, but I could push through the pain and finish 15 miles on time, on point, and accomplish my goal of not stopping during the run. And when I did that, even though I was limping around, I felt so much more accomplishment and a huge sense of achievement from pushing past my boundaries, pushing through when my brain told me to stop. Alright guys, so that was really important concept I wanted you to get, and I'm going to have more coming for you soon, but check out my latest video and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Okay guys, I love you, and remember, be grateful for the little things.